Ciao, io sono Michele and I'm going to introduce a project I'm working on, which is a web-based editor for developing Elm programs, currently called Elm Editor. For context, part of my work is introducing people to programming, and I also use the Elm programming language for that. And one challenge we have there is to provide people with a good development environment for this language. In the ecosystem around Elm, we already have many great tools to help us with development. We have the core Elm CLI, Elm Format, Elm Test, Elm Analyze, and more. And if you know how to use these tools, and if you also know how to make an editor talk to these tools, then you can set these up on your machine and you can work efficiently. But of course, the setup takes some time. So for professional developers, this is not so big a deal. I mean, it's part of the job, right? For my students, it's different. Many of them only do this as a hobby and they cannot spend as much time on this. They don't want to write large programs. Usually they want to take an existing project and do a little bit of customization there. So why should they spend an hour on setup before being able to change anything, before getting any feedback that is actually related to their goal? Ideally, we can start experimenting and trying things out immediately. And this is what Elm Editor enables. It packages and integrates development tools with an interface that is easy to access without setup. So this is the primary goal of this project, making it easy to access an integrated development environment. So much for the why. Now let's look at how we do this. This IDE is designed as a web app. There is a backend and a front end. The backend is a web service that runs these development tools that are usually distributed as executable files with a command line interface. And the front end is just a web page, so it runs in browsers like Chrome or Firefox. I'm not going too deep into the implementation now. If you want to learn more, one way would be to check out the documentation. This project is about half a year old now, so it was about time to present this, but it's also work in progress, so it might still change a lot. That being said, let's see a demo of the features already available today. There is a public instance at elm-editor.com and I use that for this demo. When we enter there, we see an editor. It's not completely empty because it loads an example project by default. This project contains the elm.json file and one Elm module. And we can open that module to try the core editing experience. So here on the left I have the text editor. I can make changes, and when I see the result of these changes I use that compile button. Of course I could also mess up my program. Actually that's gonna be the case most of the time. Most of the time it won't even compile. So when there is an error in the code, I get a description of the error. It also displays the location of the error. In the editor, we can see the same location highlighted with the red underline. And when we hover the cursor over that part of the code, we see the error description again. So that was the core loop. But how do we load the project we want to work on in the first place? Usually that project is available in a Git repository. So here I have an example. This is a public repository on GitHub, and it also contains some Elm programs. To load from this repository, I take the URL from the browser's address bar and enter it in the load dialog in Elm Editor. When loading the project is complete, I'm back in the File Explorer, where I can choose an Elm module to work on. As we can see in the output here, this project is a snake game and I can interact with the running program and steer the snake using arrow keys. To test saving the project, I'm gonna make a change here, just changing the color of the apple. When I want to share my project state, I use the Save dialog. Here I get a link that contains the current state of the project. So when someone else opens this link in their browser, they get the same version of the project files. Okay, I think that should cover the most important features. If you have any questions or want to learn more, feel free to reach out, for example, via the GitHub discussions. Looking forward to your feedback. Thanks for watching.